Some of you who have been watching recent events may be asking yourself, what the fuck is the point of all this? It's a fair question. I'll explain it to you. And first of all, I really appreciate all of you who have subscribed recently, who watch the content, especially the long form stuff, who ask questions, who have reached out to me on Facebook. It's really cool to meet you guys and talk to you guys and get personable with you guys. I really enjoy that. Those of you who comment and like and share, I really appreciate that. It means a lot. Now, it's one thing for you to be a dog owner and for you to be on the internet looking for answers, right? You have a certain perception of things, you have a certain understanding of things. But it's a very different thing to be on the other end of that, where you're the one people hire. I'm a principled individual. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but to me, a man should be principled, and he should stick to those principles. And it's just a core value of mine to produce the best quality work for every individual that hires me, whether they stick with me or not. I don't care if we do a session and decide it's not for them. I'm still going to give them the best quality work. I'm going to give them a detailed instruction manual, and I'll be on my way. It's up to them whether or not they want to pursue things further from there. So I have a thorough understanding of how to work with dogs. And I think it's important to always be evolving in our methodology and the way we handle dogs, because I meet a lot of people and I'm in agreement with them. I don't blame them. I meet a lot of people who the recommendation they get from professionals or from, say, people at PetSmart is, for instance, walk your dog on a harness. Well, when they call me and they say they have issues walking their dog on a harness, the first question I ask is, well, what are you walking them on? Or I'm sorry, they say they have issues with the dog on the leash. My first question is, what are you walking them on? 9 times out of 10, they say a harness. Well, then I say, let's go to a leash and collar, and I'll show you how to walk the dog the right way. I'll show you to use a leash. And most of the time, their rebuttal is, well, I don't want to choke my dog. I'm worried about putting the pressure on the neck. And then I say, hey, I understand. Let me show you how to use the leash and collar the right way so you don't choke your dog, and so you can get your dog to follow you in the right way, and you can have a peaceful walk. So a lot of times people hire me where the dog's already pulling and reacting, and we have all these issues. So we move to a leash and collar, and I show them, most of the time very quickly, there are some difficult dogs, how to use the leash and collar the right way so the dog's no longer pulling, reacting, what have you. And there's no pressure on the neck, there's no choking. It's a nice relaxed activity now where the dog is focused. Now the really strong dogs, the headstrong ones, the ones that don't respond to regular instruction with leash and collar, that's when I move to a Halter or gentle leader. And that tends to do the trick. So when people are concerned about putting all this pressure on the neck of a dog, I totally get it. I don't like it either. And there was a time when I would use more of a slip lead, and you put more pressure on the neck, and I don't really feel good about it. I don't like it either. So that's why I use something like a gentle leader, because even though they say it's more aversive than a prong collar, maybe, and I know dogs don't like it, but it's supposed to be temporary, right? Where we use it to be able to influence the dog, and then we remove the tool. So then we no longer need it anymore. But being in the position that I'm in, I see things from a different lens as far as the culture of the dog world and the overall culture. In a lot of ways, this whole war of the dog the dog community, the battling, the infighting, in a lot of ways is a representation of the bigger culture war that's happening in our world, in our country, what have you. It's like a microcosm of those cultural problems. So the reason I make videos calling people out or responding to people or addressing things is because I care about the truth. And I'm not going to sit here and say I have all the answers or I have the truth. I am the light in the way. No. I'm simply saying that that's what I care about, is the truth. And I care about doing the best job for my clients as I possibly can. Now, I could give a fuck less what anyone's opinion is on the internet. I could care less if people decide not to align with me. I could care less if I'm the only one leading the charge. I don't care. What matters to me is the people who hire me and pay me get what they want. And they get what they want in a very professional and in a high quality way. It's very important that I produce quality results for my clients, and I do it in a quality way. So, while it may seem redundant, or it may seem like maybe some of you are thinking, why do you keep posting videos about this person or these people? I get it. If that's not your thing, don't watch those videos. But I think it's really important to call certain things out, especially, listen, there's one thing I cannot stand, it's hypocrisy. I can't stand hypocrisy, and I can't stand people who say one thing and do another. Now, I'm specifically talking about men, because this is part of this whole cultural issue, right? Now, ladies who watch me, you know what I'm getting at here. Where we have a serious issue when it comes to manhood and men being men nowadays. Now, the reason this is even important is because leadership is a very, very, very important thing when it comes to handling your dog or understanding your dog and being at the top of that dominance hierarchy. You need to understand leadership. Otherwise, you'll never get there. So, when I see grown men engaging in hypocrisy, or saying one thing and doing another, or flip-flopping, or one day, you're going to do something like, I'm going to Rumble because I don't want to be on YouTube, and shut off all your comments. But then the next day, you're already posting back on YouTube saying, hey, I'm back on YouTube. That's an example of a flip-flop. Or you post a bunch of videos on people, then you take them down. But then you post a bunch of videos on the same people, then you take them down. That shows an inconsistency in your character, and men should stand on the things that men should mean what they say what they mean, and stand on the shit that they say. And I don't see a whole lot of that happening. This is an issue with, we're not raising our boys to become men anymore. And it took me a long time to really get my shit together too. I'm not going to sit here and say I've always been perfect. I'm not perfect. But what I can't stand is people who lie and misrepresent things because their ego is fragile. When they engage in hypocrisy and they can't stick to their word. And listen, I'm not above criticism. Anyone who points out that maybe I'm being a hypocrite about something, please point it out. I'm not going to ban you from the channel or shrug you off or dismiss you. Call me out. It goes both ways. Listen, if you can't handle the criticism, then you shouldn't be dishing it out. If you do not have a thick skin, then you shouldn't be throwing stones at everybody else. Because when one of them stones finally comes back, and you want to act like a coward about it, well then, that says everything we need to know. I can't respect men who run away from conflict. Right? I see this all over the place. You're happy to talk shit from a distance, but you don't want to actually confront the person you're talking shit about. That's a weakness. I'm sick of it. So if we're going to actually represent leadership and be an example to our clients or the people online, then it's important to call this shit out. And like I said, it's a symptom of a greater problem we have in society right now, especially with men. And I'm quite frankly, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of all the bitch assness. And so that's why, people sometimes, you could accuse me of being hostile or aggressive or emotional all you want. No, I'm a very passionate individual, and I'm very assertive, and I make my points very clear in a strong way. If you don't like it, too fucking bad. But you're more than welcome to go read my reviews on my Facebook page, and you'll see what my clients have to say about me. And passion is one of those words you will see frequently in my reviews. So I will again reiterate that I'm not for everybody, but the people who are ready for what I have to share will hear me and are happy to jump on board and go along for the ride. So just felt that they needed to be stated because it may seem petty or inconsequential, but I don't do things without purpose or reason. And so, yet again, a demonstration of the result of your understanding, or my understanding, of these beautiful creatures that we share space with, we share our lives with, that every dog is an opportunity to teach you something and to make you better. Now, whether you rise to that challenge or not, that's up to you. But nobody can say that I don't put my fucking money where my mouth is.